Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing well. My name is Victoria Pikoska. I'm the founder of Victory Art, and today we're going to have another seminar together. I'm really excited to share with you a topic which is kind of connected as well with the topic we discussed last week, and we're going to talk about social media storytelling and why it's so important. Well, firstly, let me introduce our company. So we're Victory Art, and we're breaking stereotypes and helping artists to come to the global art world. These seminars are co-founded by European Union, and I want you to definitely go to their website and check out what they're offering to artists like you. There are a lot of different projects where you can educate yourself, you can join projects and work on amazing things, very impactful things. So if you're interested in one of these things, definitely go and check them out. Before we start, I would love to ask you to be mindful when other people are speaking. Please keep your microphones off until questions and answers. Be respectful and have a good time. Let me as well tell you a little bit more about us. So we are a company which is helping talented artists from Central and Eastern Europe to come to global art world. We're currently working with more than 120 artists, and we're featuring more than 1,700 artworks. This round of seminars is almost over. I have to say that we have 5 left, excluding this one, 4 left. And I really hope that you are able to find something very exciting what can help you to build your career. And if you're interested, we're going to do as well consultancy sessions with artists. So whether you're an artist who is struggling with, I don't know, social media, or maybe you're struggling with business development, maybe you're struggling with pricing, whatever things, we are able to help you out with those things. We work on these seminars with our friends from GJW Gallery. And if you really are struggling with the law seminars or like law contracts, whatever, they're able to help you out. You can book sessions with them as well. I'm going to talk about our seminars a little bit later and about consultancy sessions as well a little bit later. But in the meantime, if you are interested and you already know that you're interested, you can contact our curator at curator@victoryart.eu. I would love to mention that all these seminars are going to be published on victoryart.art website. So this is our second domain, which is strictly dedicating to seminars for artists. These are as well seminars we discussed before, and they all will be published on victoryart.art. So definitely stay tuned. Well, in terms of social media, we discussed some basic things last week. I want to say that social media is very, very, very complex thing. Even marketing managers do not know everything. The trends are constantly changing. So I want to really say that please take this with a little bit of salt. And if you are really interested to dive into specific social media, for example, in your case, you want to, I don't know, grow Instagram or Pinterest, contact us directly at curator@victoryart.eu and we can discuss things further. However, when you go to social media, you're usually looking for some interesting content. And this is what your clients are looking for, some interesting content. Sometimes it happens that that you as an artist, you might be like maybe too excited about your paintings and you only post painting or you post painting on the wall and you do not give people a little bit more ideas about what's behind this painting. I want to tell you that talking about yourself, talking about your art, the way you're creating your art is sometimes even more important than making that art. You can do 100 artworks, but if you're not able to share with people why you created that artwork, what it means to you, what inspired you, how big impact it has, you will not be able to sell it to your clients. And that's the reason why I want to tell you that let's discuss this social media storytelling, and let's see how we can make you feel more connected with your clients, how we can make your clients to feel more connected with you. Well, storytelling is most captivating technique. You probably remember when you were small, your parents used to tell you some fairy tale, and you were so excited. You were like, "Oh, this is the situation, and then this happened, and this is how it got solved." And like people in general, they have this very deep emotion to hear something interesting, but it cannot be just like random facts. It has to really connect with us emotionally on this emotional level. And exactly through social media storytelling, you are able to do it with your clients. And this is what we want. Because if you will not make them feel interested in your art, you will not sell anything. They will not be interested. This storytelling is when you're using certain facts and narratives to communicate specific message. It really helps people to envision, to imagine, to connect better with you, with your product. And in terms of this, it's a very key point. And one common characteristic of all forms of storytelling is that it really helps people to visualize more what you are saying. It helps them to really stay connected with you. In terms of the social media storytelling, it is literally using your social media to tell a story. That's quite self-explanatory, right? But it is about mentioning your brand. It is about mentioning your products. And it is about captivating your audience. It is not only about selling. If you want to sell, then yeah, you can turn on ads. But yeah, that might not work if it's not properly done either. But in terms of the social media storytelling, you are not getting only clients, you're getting your supporters, which you might be able to later use for various things, like for example, working with galleries might require some extra cost, and they might be able to help you, like your followers, like your fans, like really these people who are there to support you and to help you with your passion. When we are talking about different elements in social media storytelling, there are 4 key elements you have to think about. So the first one, and probably one of the most important ones, is emotion. When you hear someone saying something, when you hear fairy tale, when you're looking at the movie, like you need to feel something in order to be intrigued by that, and in order to really generate kind of like these emotional links and clicks about facts, and really just work with it. So this is number one. Another one is action. There has to be something that will waken up the stories, and it allows us to pull our emotions. Allows us to pull our emotions. So when people see, for example, some different like things, or they like feel like, okay, so this is some specific action in this story, they are more likely to give actually you the money. They're more likely to connect with you. So think about what can be action in your storytelling. Another element, the third one, is value. So it's not only about feelings or sympathies, but it is a lot about impact and value of something we perceive. So for example, a lot of brands are working with this. Last example, this is quite bad example, but still example, is Balenciaga, right? Balenciaga used to be a very chic brand, very elegant, and in the past few years, because of their new creative directors, the whole narrative changed, and the value of the brand completely kind of disappeared from what it used to be. It became like very modernish, very provocative brand, but basically now they're facing a lot of serious charges because the narrative kind of completely got out of control, and the values what brand tried to show and try to give people was not very moral, we can say it like this. So when you're like playing with the value and you want to create certain impact and perception, really think what value you can bring to people, you can bring to your followers, to your fans. So you can, for example, share some specific thing what happened to you, but try to stay always on a positive note. If you will be constantly like going into the negative note and being that kind of line, people will not feel like, oh, okay, so this is that excitement which we want to feel when we buy this artist. So make sure that that you give them enough to discuss things and to feel like very connected with you, but at the same time that you still stay on a positive note. And the last one, the fourth one, which is very important element in the social media storytelling, is memory. So the stories make us remember things. So you probably remember, I don't know, Snow White. I think that's how it's called in English. Like there's so many different fairy tales we remember, and we remember it because we got really connected with them, and we remember them because they were literally stories, and they just like stick in our mind. And this is what you want to do with your clients. This kind of social media storytelling is lately very popular on LinkedIn. So people are sharing their ideas and their experiences in the professional world, with clients, with different people. And at the same time, it is popular as well on Instagram, and more Instagram, not that much TikTok, but Instagram, where people are, for example, showing their imperfect bodies, and they're like talking about how they were struggling with their body image and diets and all other stuff, and the pressure they had from society. And these things really strongly resonate with people because it literally gives people all these four elements which we discussed. So think about the way you as an artist, you can share your story in appropriate way. So it means that you can tell people how you started, what inspired you to start, how you struggled with your process when you actually started to be an artist and you wanted to explore. How did you like do all these things? So just really try to think what makes you personally interested in other artists. You can try to be empathetic. Maybe you bought before artwork from someone else and that inspired you. So just like start thinking about what your clients might be interested in seeing. There are a few things you still have to keep on your mind. Firstly, you have to know your listener. You have to understand your client. You have to know your client. So who is it? You want to, I don't know, sell to corporation, or do you want to sell to art lover? Like, who is your client? Make stories that really connect with people. And think about it in the long term. A lot of artists are trying to jump into social media and then just somehow like try to speed it up, and they feel like I have to post every single day. I have to put so much pressure on myself, and then they stop after like a month. Month is irrelevant. Month is not enough. So really, make sure that you are able to keep up with what's on your vision. And sometimes or majority of the times, quality is more important than the quantity. It has to be meaningful. It has to tell something to people. And use as well social media features. So for example, on Instagram, you have a lot of features. So we can start with reels, right? Normal posts, videos, you can do stories, like a lot of different things. So try to really find as well your tool which works the best for you and stick with it. Instagram is a especially tricky platform because Instagram is constantly changing algorithm, and this might be very challenging in the long run. So if you feel comfortable with something, just make sure that you're gonna stick with it, not that you will be changing constantly how social media wants, because this way you will not really go anywhere. So just make sure that you are consistent with yourself. And in terms of storyteller, there are as well a few different storytellers. So the first one is origin, and this type of storytelling is where you include people from the beginning of your stories. And another one is spoiler, and this one makes audience feel connected, and it like develops material to which they can relate, and then they communicate it with different media, and they often update stories and often update their post. So what kind of storyteller you might be? Are you willing to really like start from the scratch and like take people through that way? Or are you more this kind of spoiler who is just like creating stories based on what is like what feels in that moment, right? To be honest, both have some advantages and both have disadvantages. Usually the more famous one or more used one is the spoiler one. So when you are like shooting different kind of storytelling based on the topic you're discussing or like you want to discuss, with this way, it can make people feel more connected with you, but at the same time, they don't get the whole picture. In terms of origin, they definitely get the whole picture. But if someone starts like following you or like looking at what you're doing a little bit later, then this might give them quite like that complete picture. So yeah, what's better, what's worse? So it's really up to you what you personally feel confident with. Some tips, especially for Instagram, because I know the majority of artists, their primary medium is Instagram. Make sure that you utilize the hashtags and utilize hashtags which really work for you. You need to plan ahead also social media because this is going to save you so much time. Make sure that you have high quality pictures. Really good quality pictures. One of the great things is Smartest app, where you can literally you pay I think like €1 per week, and you basically create a beautiful, gorgeous previews. You need to engage with your followers and fans. And of course, the most important, what we were talking about since the beginning, you have to tell a story. You have to tell them about you, and it has to be exciting. So perceive every single post or whatever you're doing as like a story, as something you're talking about 2-year-old child, and you have to really make it exciting. People have nowadays a very short span, like focus span. It's like, I think 3 seconds, might be even less at this point. But you have to be quick. You have to get them engaged immediately. Because if you don't, they just scroll, or like they just won't even notice you. So really think about it. And always remember that you have to be honest with what you're posting out there. Please do not make people think something else than what's true, because if they're gonna purchase your art at some point, they will find out, and you don't want to put yourself into such kind of position. So think about it. And very important, you want to make people think that you're unique, that your art is unique, that your audience is unique, and your social media must be unique in order to make people feel interested in this, and that you can really utilize social media storytelling. So this was for today. On Thursday, next seminar is already this Thursday. We're going to talk about collections and how to build collections. If you are interested in having or like clarifying something, please raise your microphones right now, or you can write your questions to the chat. And I want to say again that consultancy sessions, free consultancy sessions, will start on the 2nd of January. And you will be able to basically consult with our experts and see what's going to work for you and how you can utilize everything the best. I want to say that all seminars will be published already in January on the website victoryart.art. So if you're gonna scan this QR code, you will be able to get there. And if there are no other questions, thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm looking forward to see you on Thursday.